everybody. Welcome to the table. I have great news for anyone out there who is a fan of US-made traditional slip joint knives. Short history lesson here, so those of you who don't like that sort of thing, feel free to skip ahead. So this is a trapper made by Cooper Cutlery under the brand name of Weed & Company. So what is interesting about that name is that Weed & Company was an old school hardware company that was founded in 1818 in Buffalo, New York. So this company had a long history in the hardware business, and at least for now, this company name has been resurrected for this line of pocket knives. And so what makes this line of knives noteworthy is that Cooper Cutlery acquired all of the former Queen Cutlery factory, meaning the machines, the tools used to make slip joint knives for years in Titusville, Pennsylvania, is now going to be back in action making US produced knives. And the timing here is actually really pretty good, since for those of you in the knife scene and in the know, we realize that the demand for traditional slip joints made domestically is literally through the roof. So leading the charge on that front is Great Eastern Cutlery. So they have entire runs of knives sell out within seconds of being posted online by knife dealers. So secondary market prices on eBay can often cost 3 to 4 times of the original retail price. So there is a clear demand. People want US-made traditional slip joint pocket knives. So in enters Weed & Company and their line of knives. These have all been made on the old Queen Cutlery equipment, and this entire brand and run of knives has been meant to be kind of a stepping stone towards resurrecting the traditional Schatt and Morgan cutlery brand name, all produced on this same vintage equipment. So now all this information I just shared with you, this came from C. Risner Cutlery. So this is the site run from traditionalpocketknives.com. So his firsthand knowledge he's shared with the community has given me hope that we're soon going to have another manufacturer to rival Great Eastern Cutlery and increase domestic pocket knife production. So as a buyer of pocket knives, collector of pocket knives, I am hoping this helps meet the insane demand that the market has made for these handmade knives. So I did miss out on the initial offering that Risner Cutlery sold, and like Great Eastern Cutlery knives, this line of knives sold out also nearly instantly. So not a good sign. But just by dumb luck, I happened to see some of these Weed & Company knives in the new arrival section at Smoky Mountain Knife Works. So when I saw that, I instantly ordered one. So this run of Weed & Company knives are admittedly almost a practice run, and so they are not going to be at the same quality level as a GEC, Great Eastern Cutlery produced knife. This was warned in the marketing material, so the statement made by C. Risner Cutlery was that these knives would be similar in quality to what was being produced by Case Cutlery. So we're going to take a good look at this red jigged bone trapper from Weed & Company. I'm going to make some comparisons to this Chinese-made Kissing Crane trapper. That is the exact same pattern of knife, one being produced here in the USA, one produced in China and at a much lower price. So taking a look at the actual Weed & Company trapper here, we can see the most controversial part of the knife here is the shield. So we have a very prominent Canadian maple leaf here, and from the feedback I have seen from other knife collectors who are following this run of knives very closely, many people in the knife community are disappointed in the choice of shield here. I think the overlap of people who collect pocket knives and people who enjoy maple leaf memorabilia is very small. So personally, I am okay with Canadians. I am not a fan of maple syrup myself, but it does make me feel like Cooper Cutlery was maybe a bit tone deaf in who their actual customers are going to be with their traditional pocket knives, and this misstep may have cost them some future customers, unfortunately. I'm hoping when they come out with their Schatt and Morgan line that they abandon the maple leaf entirely and start to move towards more traditional shields on their knives. So let's take a look at what arrived with the Weed & Company trapper here. Just like many traditional pocket knives, the knife arrived in a tube with a unique label on it. So we can see the Weed & Company markings since 1818. So you can see the origin of the throwback they're using here. And when you see a history of the name, I think it's neat that they brought that back, like I said. But we can also see the knives are made in Winchester, Ohio, which is presumably where the Queen Cutlery equipment has been reinstalled and reinstated. So the knife itself came wrapped in a plastic baggie in this tube, so no wax paper like you would get with Great Eastern Cutlery or other brands. We have some paperwork here, and one of these is a warranty sheet. Pretty straightforward, 1-year warranty. What is most interesting here is the information sheet about this run of knives. So this looks to have been a run of 500 knives, and you can see they were made in stag, horn, and bone. So information sheets like these are always appreciated, as it shows, real pride of workmanship. So looking at the trapper's function itself, we have two blades of 440 steel. So both the clip point and spay blades are nice and easy to open. There's no half stop, so it's just one long, smooth pull to open each blade. So both blades arrive very sharp out of the box, and both blades are stamped with the Weed & Company markings, as well as Winchester, Ohio markings. So taking a look at the clip blade, we also have a larger Weed & Company mark on the blade itself. So let's take a look at the handles. So the jig-boned covers here fit well. There are no gaps, no overlap. Everything feels smooth in the transitions. If I was looking to really nitpick anything on this knife overall, though, I would do so probably on two things. So one, when the clip point blade is closed, if you look on the back spring protrudes a small amount from the handle. And so I can see if the camera can even pick that up. So very small detail, but definitely something a collector would notice. Also, the shield itself, there's a tiny little bit of like black grime. I don't know if you could see it. I did use a toothbrush to try and gently scrape it mostly away. But what you can see here is all that remains. So the weight of this knife is a hair over 4 ounces. And so that's for a knife with 2 3¼ inch blades. And all in all, it's a very functional, workmanlike knife. Just what I think Cooper Cutlery was really trying to accomplish here. And the overall cost from Smoky Mountain Knife Works for this knife was $79.99. So let's compare it now to a $30 trapper. So this is one of my Chinese produced kissing crane trappers. So you can buy these all day, every day from places like Bud K in various different flavors, from Halloween to St. Patrick's Day to Father's Day and beyond. So I'm honestly really kind of floored as to how similar these knives are to each other. The pull on the blades is very similar. The hand feel is similar. The blades and the brass liners look nearly interchangeable. The only tangible difference I can see here is that the bolsters are a little bit thicker. The bone covers are a little bit thicker and are a little bit more robust on the Weed & Company knife. So I think that accounts for some weight difference, because the kissing crane trappers come in at about 3½ ounces versus the 4 of the Weed & Company trapper. So, as a user and as a collectible even, I think the Weed & Company knife here is a decent option. I mean, I would never pay above retail asking price, because it just isn't quite worth it in the same way a desirable Great Eastern cutlery knife is. And if you want a real beater and user without collecting at all in mind, go for a kissing crane. If you don't care about the design of the knife, sometimes they go for as low as $20 when they're on clearance. But even after all this, there is that special something about owning a knife made domestically. Call it pride of ownership, I guess. There's that intangible factor that is part of what drives collectors to pay insane prices for luxury goods like this. So, this is just a real quick overview of the Weed & Company trapper. I'm very curious to hear your thoughts on the knife. Are you a traditional pocket knife type person? Is this a reasonable price in your opinion? Let me know in the comments below. Hope you all have a nice day, and bye-bye.